Hello class, this video is about solving quadratic equations by completing the square. Noticing in this example, our leading coefficient is not 1. What's the leading coefficient here? Is 2. Okay, so solving this one is actually very similar to the one where the leading coefficient is 1, it just extra couple steps. Okay, so let's identify leading coefficient. I also need to identify C, that is -1. Why? Because quadratic standard format is always ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, now my first step, remember, I want to look at this number c. Is it useful? Well, it's not. Remember, complete the square. We want a number that we can use to complete a square. In this case, it's not helpful, so I need to get rid of -1 by adding both sides by -1. So step 1 is same thing as you did when you have leading coefficient as 1. This will become 0. Alright, and you have +1. And on the right side and the left side, you have 2x squared minus 4x. Okay, now the second step is different from what we've been doing. In this case, we have a leading coefficient as 2. So we don't want it because in order to complete the square, we want a leading coefficient as 1. But you cannot just erase it, right? There's a certain rule you need to follow. You can factor out that, okay? You can factor out 2, and you notice 4, 2 is also one of the factor of 4, so you can divide both by 2. You take out 2. When you take out 2, right away set up a parenthesis, so you have x squared here, then you have 2x, because 4x divided by 2 give you 2x equal to 1. Okay, now I don't even care about 2 right now. What I really care about is whatever inside the parenthesis. I want to create a perfect square trinomial, right? Noticing this is not even trinomial because we only have a 2 term. So I know I'm going to copy 2, but I don't need to use it, okay? Just need to copy down. I'm going to be focusing whatever expression inside the parenthesis. Now remember, if it's not even perfect square trinomial, we can create 1 on our own. How? Just remember, what number do you need here, right? What do I need here? And then just also remember, you want to make sure you add something to the right side as well, because you want the equation to be balanced. My question is, what do I need here? Okay, what I need to look at is inside the parenthesis. I don't even care about 2 once again. Right now I have x squared minus 2x plus something. How can I figure out what is this something? What is the question mark? Alright, so you need to look at our b. This is a new b, okay? See, this is not from here. No, because we already factored out 2. So the new b, okay, this is a new one. The new b is -2. Okay, what do I need for the third term? I definitely need to divide it by 2 and take the square of that. Do you remember that? That is always what we need for the constant term when we have a perfect square trinomial. I need you guys to remember this if you don't remember yet. Okay, Now, new b is negative 2 divided by 2. Alright, and then you take the square of that. Negative 1 square always give you positive 1 square of anything, always be positive. So I know, hey, I need to add 1 here. Okay? My question is, remember, we want to be fair on the right side. We need to do something to make it balanced. My question is, do I also add 1 here? The answer is no. Why? Guys, if you distribute here, right? Like, how can we test? Let's distribute. You're gonna have 2x squared, okay, minus 4x, okay, plus 2. So this is something extra. We add, instead of 1, we actually add 2 to the left side. Take a look, right? We not just add 1. Even it looks like just add 1, but actually we add 2 because you need to multiply it by the common factors that we factor out on the previous step. Okay, do you see that? So no, instead of adding 1, we are actually adding 2. How did I get 2? Okay, 2 times 1. I want to write it in this way. Let me just erase it. Make it nice and neat. Okay. Right, so let's see how I do it. I need to multiply, distribute 2 to 1. Multiply. That is the value. 2 times 1. To get this number, whatever you need to add to the right side. That is called fair. Do you see that? If you're not sure, I need to pause the video. Okay, make sure you understand it, because this is a very important step. This is 2 here. Just want to rewrite it. Okay. Up to here, we're going to simplify the right side because you can add those two numbers, right? So gonna be 3 on the right side. On the left side, just copy that. 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 1. The purpose of getting this trinomial, because we are able to write it into square of the binomial, right? So if you remember, or you can just go straight to factor that x squared minus 2x plus 1. This is the AM method. It will be x minus 1 times x minus 1. Do you remember that? Okay, also you can remember the shortcuts. It's gonna be x plus b over 2, right? So here you are going to fill it with x minus 1 squared. That also comes from here, okay? Because a number or expression multiply itself. Let's continue. All right, up to here we are very, very close. We probably just need 3 more steps, okay? I want to isolate x. That means I want to get rid of 2, right? I want to get rid of exponents. I also need to get rid of this negative 1. Let's do it one by one. Let's not rush. You need to get rid of 2 first. That will be easier. You can take a square root, but I would say make it a little bit more complicated. So let's just divide both sides by 2 using inverse because there's multiplication between it, right? Divide by 2. That will be gone. This left side, you have x minus 1. Well, let's keep the square. The right side, leave it as a fraction, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright. Up to here, we want to take care of the square. Remember, square root and square, they are opposite to each other, and let's take a square root of both sides. And at the same time, plus and minus. Okay? Alright, square root and square, they cancel out each other. They will be gone. So you have x minus 1 equal to plus minus 3 over 2. Okay. Very good. Now, one more step. I want to add both sides to 1. I want to add 1 to both sides. Why? Remember, I want x by itself, right? Then x become alone. That's what we need. On the right side, I'm going to write it as 1 plus minus square root of 3 over 2. Some people write it as x equal to plus minus 3 over 2 plus 1. Either way. Okay? Both of them. Alright? Does it make sense? Okay. Now let's finish the steps here. You want they become your steps, okay? So make sure you remember by heart. So as we did, we get rid of c by adding or subtracting c to or from both sides of the equation. Step 2, we take out 2, we factor out 2. Okay, so that you only have coefficient, leading coefficient as a 1 for the expression inside the binomial. Now, for the expression inside the binomial, we want to identify the new b. This is a new b. Okay, new b. That is negative 2, and then we divide it by 2, and then take a square of that because we need it to complete the square. Alright, we are adding, once again, b over 2 square to the expression inside of the parentheses. But for the right side, we don't just add b over 2 square. We are adding what? A multiply. Okay? A multiply b over 2 square. Okay, like the purple one, look, we multiply the b over 2 square with the leading coefficient. Okay, that's how you get the number 2 here. Okay, take a look. And then let's continue. Up to here, the become easier, right? You look at the trinomial inside, you notice, hey, this is a perfect square trinomial. Right, you can factor that. So on the left side, you're going to have the leading coefficient because we factor out. And you're going to have parentheses. That's going to give you a binomial. And you square up that, right? This is exactly this step here. And then you solve it. Solving this one require multiple steps. Step 1, right? You get rid of a by dividing both sides by a. Step 2, square root of the both sides, right? Until you get x by itself. I know this is a long procedure. Okay, so please make sense out of it. Make sure you understand every single step. If you do have a question, please bring them back. And with this, please work on your homework